Yeah, I've pretty much done wildlife fertility control since my graduate student days. So I was always really passionate about kangaroos. So they were just the species that I absolutely loved the most. Wildlife fertility control, I think, can play a really important role in managing human-wildlife conflict and sort of promoting coexistence between wild animals and people. It, I think, is particularly important in areas where there might be limitations in different management approaches, and when there's a desire for non-lethal approaches to managing wildlife. I think there's also an increasing recognition that it is actually better than lethal control in some instances in terms of the number of individual animals you have to intervene with, and the fact that if you can have particularly a longer lasting fertility control agent, you can potentially do a lot of work up front in the population, reduce the birth rate, and then not really have to do as much management further on, whereas often with something like culling, you get a dramatic drop straight away, but then the population bounces back and then you've got to cull again, and so you end up in this cycle of having to repeatedly cull animals, and particularly in contentious situations, you then sort of having this conflict between managers and the public all the time about how to manage wildlife. So I think it's one part of a toolbox. I think it has the potential to become an increasingly important part of the toolbox, and we just need to really do some more research and apply it in more circumstances and measure the outcomes to really demonstrate its efficacy. I think generally the general public wants it to work, I think. I mean, it may depend what species you're talking about, but particularly with charismatic species, I think, people like the idea that you can manage something without killing it.